Okay, we're beginning the recording. Apparently my audio is okay. Okay, so we're looking here at TradeStation to take a look at how things work between MultiCharts and TradeStation real quick for the purpose of seeing whether or not it's something you want to get involved with sooner rather than later or wait on. So right now this is TradeStation. On my menu, I'm going to start up MultiCharts. When you start up MultiCharts, if you ask for this to choose between it, you get this dialog. This means that I'm going to connect to TradeStation as my data feed, and every time I ask for a new symbol, I'm going to get the historical data from TradeStation. So one of the issues right away is this one. When you create a new chart window, okay, it's not as simple and easy as TradeStation. TradeStation, you have to wait a little while to load cache, but you have a number of other things you've got to do in order for MultiCharts to get your symbol data. And this is the reason I'm going through it is one of the biggest bugaboos. Before you even start, there's something called the quote manager, and you got to go over here and in your data sources, select where you're getting your data from. And in my case, I have selected TradeStation, and that's my I have all these active in case you can get your data from any of these. I have been told that the best one is IQ feed, but independently for data, and that's much faster, but I haven't experimented with that yet. At any rate, when I first got MultiCharts hooked up, I had to go in and make TradeStation an active and make sure the connection works. So, and you have to do that through this separate program called the quote manager, which you have to know is there. If you go to your MultiCharts area here, you've got a number of these utilities, one of which though is the portfolio backtester, which is something that TradeStation just came out with, and I haven't had a chance to play with it, but it's very relevant to what we're discussing, and we'll get to that in a sec. So here we are. We wanted to do a chart. I did my new chart window, and I'm going to ask for a symbol. You have a symbol you're interested in today? GMCR. Now I'm going to add this symbol, so I'm going to have to go now to TradeStation and get it into my list. So it has it available, so I'll add it, and now that that symbol is added, well, I'll request it. Now, first thing that you notice, it establishes connection with TradeStation, and then it starts loading the data. Now, depending on how much data you ask for, this process can take a while. So number one problem with MultiCharts when we're using it with TradeStation is you're used to getting your data on a new chart right away. Not so right away with this linkage. So you got to preload when you're doing your backtesting and everything else. You got to have a process where you go grab all the data you're going to use so that you don't get your you have it all saved. Once you've gotten it, MultiCharts will save it for you in a local database. So if I create a new workspace while this is going on and bring up one of my old ones, the Lexi tester, for example, this one comes up right away because it had the data. Okay, and one of the things you might notice is we have good old Lexi and good old end of day exit doing their normal thing. And it looks and works a lot. Go ahead. Unless you're correct, unless you're asking for data you're updating your data. If TradeStation is your data source. Now, there's a site called DTNIQ, which when I've spoken to the MultiCharts people, they tell me when you ask for data from them, they have a 30-day trial, free trial for MultiChart users. If you mention them, it says 7. But if you call them and tell them you're using MultiCharts, they'll extend it to 30. And it's a reasonably cheap service. It's cheaper than TradeStation. And it's probably the way you eventually want to go. The other, though, interesting or good news is that MultiCharts allows you to execute also through many other brokers than TradeStation. And many people who use interactive brokers, they get their data from DTNIQ and they execute through interactive brokers. And I've been told, although I don't have my own experience again at this, that is competitive in convenience and speed with TradeStation. But using if you're going to leave TradeStation behind, the best way to do it is to get your data from DTNIQ and execute through interactive brokers. Correct. You can use all TradeFormers. If you go in here and say insert, there's slight differences you got to get used to. You'll see I've got all my indicators. Okay, there's no concept of show me's, so show me's I believe are indicators as well. And these are not my latest versions of stuff, but you basically have everything that you have in TradeStation. It also has all your standard TradeStation strategies front. And that being said, I've been working with them, and it does do, when you go in and go to optimize, let's just do a quick one just for the heck of it. So I'm going to go to format signals, and then I have the ability to go and click optimize, and it gives me a choice of exhaustive genetic or walk forward. Walk forward is something we'll talk about, but is also something that's new in TradeStation, but it's been around here for a while. But if you just do an exhaustive one, you get a much more I think convenient optimization screen. And then each of you could go in and say, all right, I want to try this is a 5-minute chart. Let's try every OR from 1 bar. I'm sorry, I have to put from 6 bars to 30 minutes, starting with 1, and try each one and see which one is the best. Well, I have to turn off the line. Apparently, I was a little too bold. I have to use Lexi.ult and turn off the lines for it doesn't draw the lines. All right, I have to get the latest version of Lexi over to really show that. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how the optimize is different here. If you've seen it in TradeStation, you do them one at a time in optimize mode. So we're running. I'm going to just stop the recording to get a 10-minute segment here, and then start it up again. So bear with me one moment.